Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all honor, praise, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is the Plaintables Delaware camp. Here with another lesson, or it's like here with another a day, all right, of preaching the destruction of this kingdom. All right, so if we can start with 2 Peter 1:19. All right, because Apostle Tahar, he coined this year the of 2026, the year of apostates, right, sellouts, all right, agents, all right. And on the other hand, we have major leaps in prophecy. All right, we also have the more talks of the the 6G, which we can get that article on the winning the 6G race. All right, we also have more talks of the MOTB, coming into play. You also have the U.S. Having these different military attacks on Venezuela. All right, so prophecy is booming. All right, and we have to stay in the in the right spirit. All right, keeping watch for these different prophecies. All right, not focusing on changing the doctrine. Trying to get the heathens. All right, a part of being joint heirs in the kingdom. All right, not debating on whether we have the name of the Lord or not. Going to the constant debates, getting on other people's platforms. All right, we understand that we at the end. All right, so if you can get that.
God's lucky. You said first.
2 Peter 1:19.
God. So it says 2 Peter 1:19. And it says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye, it says, ye do well that ye take heed.
So, yeah, that ye take heed. So we have that short word of prophecy, all right? And we're able to, break down, the prophecies, throughout the scriptures, and also, apply that, filter that through the world news, right? Keeping watch of what's going on, all right? Because, we can clearly see that, we're at the end. All right, closer to the end that we've ever been. All right, and while people are celebrating, 2026, happy through year, all right, and things of that nature, focusing on a life on this side, building themselves up on this side. All right, we're looking for the destruction of this place. All right, and we have hope and we have faith that, this is going to be another year where we see major leaps in prophecy. All right, like you got this guy Trump. He was going into the the 6G, all right, and he was basically going into what was it? It was the like what we're seeing. We're gonna see more closer look, under the skin, something along those lines. All right, so these devils, they understand exactly what they're coming to do. All right, and if you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite. All right, one of the things you're supposed to do is focus on these prophecies. All right, so read that again.
God. So it says 2 Peter chapter 1:19. It says we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place.
A light that shineth into a dark place. All right. So, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, service of the Lord, we're that light in this dark place going into, Babylon, looking everywhere around us, it's all darkness. People against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right, iniquity, sin all around us, harm, to the men of the Lord, all right, we're in Babylon, Babylon goes back to the Hebrew word Babal, which goes into confusion. All right, go ahead.
God, it says 2 Peter 1:19, continuing on. It says, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. Knowing this, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
Yeah. So meaning we're gonna have the prophecies. It's gonna be prophets out here. That's preaching in truth, understanding the times that we're in, all right, showing, the Israelites their transgressions, all right, showing where we are, according to prophecy. All right, and we understand, hey, we at that point where the 250 years, of a kingdom. All right, the lifespan of a kingdom being 250 years. All right. Also, I believe it's the every 80 years it's going into the economic crash. All right, which we're there too. The year 2026. All right. So best believe this man is coming with that great wrath. All right. You also got Elon Musk, right, with the Neuralink. All right, planning on a mass production of the brain hips. All right. So looking at where we are in prophecy, we're at a pretty good place. All right. And if you can get Matthew chapter 6 and 22, if you have any precepts, you can get them out as well.
Okay.
All right.
So it says in Matthew 6 and 22, it says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
Yeah, your eye, right? Going into your mind, being focused. All right, keeping your eyes on the prize. All right, which we're keeping our minds focused on salvation. All right, we're not focusing on building a community. All right, we're not focusing on getting on different platforms, constant debates. All right, we're focused on pushing the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Edifying the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, working out our own salvation through fear and trembling. This is keeping your eyes single. All right, being focused. Okay, go ahead, read that again.
It says Matthew 6 and 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body should be full of light.
Oh, preaching the Bible. Yep. Go ahead.
It says, but if thine eye be evil, so verse 23, it says, but if thine eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
That's it. All right, and a part of staying focused is also understanding that, in this truth you're supposed to overcome. All right, you're supposed to endure. All right, we get afflicted. All right, and you're supposed to take that on cheerfully. All right, when you go through difficulties or hardships in this truth, that's not for you to take a break, take weeks off, months off, focus on your worldly life. All right, that's just a part of the furnace or the affliction that we go through, as men of the Lord. All right. And if you're not focused on what you're supposed to be focused on during this truth, you're gonna be caught up in that darkness. All right, being in the truth for filthy lucre's sake, making the truth a hustle, buying and selling the truth. All right, selling Hebrew names. All right, focusing on building, a black America. All right, which this ain't our rest. All right. The scriptures going to in Babylon, we have no continuing city. All right, we're hoping for the kingdom to come. All right, Esau's not gonna let us build our own kingdom within his kingdom. All right, Esau's looking to plant everybody with the MOTB, man. Esau has his own plans. All right, and Jake, sharing some power isn't a part of the plan, man. All right. Now, on the other hand, the elect, we're looking for this man to be brought down for us to be exalted. All right, because that's the only way it's gonna happen. We have to wait on the Lord. All right. We don't have cares upon this life. We don't have attachments with this life. All right. We don't love our lives. We hate our lives, man. All right. And we're complaining continually. The scriptures go into that. We complain continually and sigh and cry for the abominations thereof. All right. So if you can get that article that goes into winning the 6G race, reading section 1 and whatever other information is relevant to it, because that's what this man is getting ready to do. All right, all paths, all roads. Right, when you look into what this man is doing, all right, making everything digital, transactions digital. You go to your grocery stores, you're seeing more self-checkout lines. You go into the self-checkout line, a lot of times they don't take cash. All right, and if you do, and if you mainly use cash, all right, you got to go into one of the checkout lines with the cashiers, which these different cashiers you might only see one or two. All right, it's not like how it used to be. All right, so we're seeing everything that Esau is doing. All of that leads to is the MOTB. All right, technology advancing, getting smaller. All right, being focused more on surveillance. All right, the digital ID. All right, so we're seeing this happen. All right, so it shouldn't be no surprise to anybody that Esau, he wants that full control by implanting you. All right, with the RFID chip. All right, so go ahead.
God. So it says summary of NSPM on winning the 6G race.
Yep.
From December 19, 2025. It says declares 6G foundational to U.S. national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity, and ties it to emerging tech like AI, robotics, and implantable technologies.
Implantable technologies. All right, so he wants that under the skin surveillance, and he's also pushing that 6G, those different type of radio frequencies, that type of radiation. All right, and it's going to jack a lot of people up. Now imagine, you putting in an implantable device in you, with that type of frequency, Esau, he's going to be able to gain control over you, man. All right, and another thing too, he's pushing that 6G. The Esau, he loves that number 6. All right, which Esau, he plants that number 6 is also a part of a big part of his beast system. All right, he puts it into his barcodes, right? His products, symbolizes it in different movies and TV shows. All right, so Esau, he's really big on that number 6. All right, go ahead.
Gone. So it says sets U.S. policy to lead global 6G development, especially by influencing international standards bodies and securing harmonized spectrum for 6G.
Yeah, so at first, what Esau's going to do is making it seem like it's the convenient thing, make it seem like it has all these benefits. All right, just from the swipe of your hand, you're able to give somebody your identification, right? You're able to make transactions. All right, you're able to do these different left-handed miracles. All right, but it's going to come to the point, because it's going to be it's gradualism. But it's going to come to the point where Esau, he's going to be looking to put you to death. You won't be able to buy or sell. You're going to become an outcast of society. All right, Esau's going to be looking, to persecute those, who's not taking the MOTB. All right, we're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, Jeremiah 30:7, which goes into an increase in death, an increase in persecution, an increase in oppression. All right, like a time we never before seen. Right, going into Daniel 12:1, it's going to be like a time like never before seen, man. So we have to be ready. We have to get our spirits ready for what's to come. All right, the scriptures go into the just shall live by faith. All right. So you got anything?
Gone. So it says Revelation 13:15, and you have power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yeah. So if you don't take the MOTB, Esau, he's going to be looking to put you to death. All right. And that's going to be a reason why a lot of people take it. It's not just going to be, the conveniences, the benefits, but your back is going to, pretty much be against the wall. If you want to be let back into society, you're going to have to take it. All right. That's why, it's impossible, for the MOTB for already to come to pass. All right. Because it's not a life or death situation yet. All right. It's not a means of, of course you need money to buy and sell. All right, but it's not to the point where, it's something that you're going to be given, all right, in order for you to fully, embrace Esau as your power. All right, to buy or sell. All right, it's not a matter of if you don't have money, Esau's gonna put you to death. That's how you know. All right, and also if you saying that people already have the mark, then that means it's no salvation if everybody has the mark. All right, because the judgment that goes along with taking the mark is being destroyed. It's no repentance after you take the MOTB. All right, go ahead.
It says, Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast shall be killed.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, and of course, when you get that word for killed,
Yep.
basically it goes into, or let's go ahead and get that word for killed within the Greek. So the Greek word is, it says apoktino. So it says to kill in any way, whatever. It says metaphorically to extinguish, abolish. And going to that point. Well, yeah, basically it's going into being exiled of this society, being killed off, from the society. And of course, even then, it's of course going to get to a point where Esau seeks, to try to kill those who don't take it. Like, of course, literally. Yeah, Khan. Yeah, physically. Yeah. So physically, so it's gonna come to that point where Esau mandates it, where of course martial laws out there in the streets.
Yep.
If you don't take it, then what? You're gonna get put down on the spot.
Yeah.
Or what? Of course, the guillotines, concentration camps.
Yep.
Yeah, Khan.
Yeah, all hell is gonna completely break loose. People are not gonna be in their right state of mind. All that people's gonna want during that time is for the hell to stop. All right, for everything to go back to normal. All right, and you've seen the kind of a trial run with the the C-19 situation. All right, but imagine that on a much more drastic scale. All right, people are going to be taking the MOTB left and right. All right, and if you don't have the faith of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you're going to take it. All right, you're not gonna pass the hour of temptation. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Khan. So it said Revelation 13 and 16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads.
Yeah, and that's the implantable technology that we were reading about when it was going into the brother was going into reading the 6G race, right? Going into the 6G, when it was going into the implantable devices, it's going into the MOTB, man. It's not this isn't some hidden information. It's right in front of your face, man. Esau's ultimate goal is to put that mark inside of you, which when you go into that word mark, it goes into charagma, something physical, a scratching, a etching, all right? Something that Esau's gonna make as to brand you, all right? Go ahead.
God, so it said Revelation 13 and 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had a mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Yep, gone. So it's going to get to a point where, you won't be able to buy or sell without it. Yep. Of course, without, that implantable tech, that would, Esau is going to mandate. It would, there's going to be, of course, again, Esau being a so-called white man. Starting with the elites, this is what they want. They want, of course, a C-hip, of course, electronic C-hip, to be put within everybody. It says, read again, Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell. Exactly. So it's going to come to a point where you won't be able to make any type of transaction, of course, within a society, unless you take it.
That's it.
So, any job, if you have a job, guess what? You're going to lose it. If rent, you won't be able to pay for your rent. You won't be able to buy your car,
your house,
buy anything.
Even your family, because a lot of people's families gonna take the MOTB. If you have a woman, she might, she's probably gonna take it. It's a good chance that she could take it. All right, and if that happens, hey, you gotta fully lean on your faith. All right. That might be your test. That might be your hour of temptation. You know, your family take it. You know, so you really gotta you know, meditate on this. All right, and you know, whatever situation you put through, you know, you gotta be able to put your faith with Yahweh Shem Yahushua first. All right, that's the ultimate test. You know, that's why we've been enduring, overcoming. You know, that's the result of all the affliction that we've been going through. All right, so during that day, all right, you know, we can be faithful, and if you know we gotta be martyrs, then you know we just gonna have to be martyrs, you know, for the truth. All right, you know, it's gonna be certain members of the elect, you know, that's gonna be put to death, but that's gonna be an honorable death. All right, if you get caught up in the destruction, you know, that's a dishonorable death. All right, going into the thermonuclear fire. All right, you know, those who get caught up in it is going to be completely destroyed, man. All right, go ahead.
Gone. So it says, Revelation 13:17, and that no man might borrow himself, save he that had a mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And of course, you know, Esau is going to make it where it is very easy to take it. You know, of course, with the trial run that just passed, you know, the V.
Right.
You know what? Basically, Esau made it where it was completely accessible to take it anywhere. You know, at your local supermarket, at your local, you know, grocery store. You know, and maybe in your job they might have a little small, of course, station where you know they're of course offering it. Guess what? You know, Esau is going to make it completely accessible for you to take that MOTB.
Right.
And what again? So literally, this is the most important thing for Esau to mandate that mark, and to make people take it. So that's why he's going to circle everything around it. Again, you won't be able to buy or sell without it. You know, you're not going to be able to make any type of transaction. What and again, you won't be able to do anything without it. And it's going to come to, guess what? You know, even with all of that, it's going to come to a point where Esau literally seeks to put you to death if you don't take it.
That's it.
So it goes to show you how bad he wants people to take this. Because again, you taking this gives Esau full control over you. You know, we just read 6G. You know, what is it? Of course, you know, what's the whole point of that? Hey, you know, to read that point again, it says declares 6G foundational to U.S. national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity, and ties it to emerging tech like AI, robotics, and implantable technology. Yeah, so what is it going to do? It's ultimately going to create a tighter grid. You know what? That's obviously giving Esau, you know, stronger connection. You know, for those who take that MOTB. That's you know, for you know the implantable tech.
Yeah. And it's no coincidence, you know, that Elon, you know, he's pushing, you know, the production of these different brain C-hips, because that's a part of it as well. All right, not only just implant it into your hand, but it, you know, really anywhere in your body. But the main two places is going to be, you know, your hand or you know your forehead, you know, your brain. All right, you know, you already have certain people that have the brain C-hip, you know, that's able to do things like, you know, control certain things with their minds. You know, which that's a part of the left-handed miracles as well. All right, you know, part of something that you know, entice people, you know, to take the mark. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So it says Revelation 13:18. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 which is 666, and that's the number that Esau loves to use.
Yep.
That number 666. You know, you see that within his company logos. You see that, you know, he puts it within movies. He puts it wherever. You know, he puts it here, puts it there. You know, and what? Of course, within the barcode.
Yep.
You'll find the 666 there. You know, within the barcode language. So it goes to show you that you know, this is a number. Ultimately, you know, we have, you know, basically. Ultimately, of course, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has revealed onto us, you know, what Esau will be doing, and you know what he to be using to show that that he is a man of course of wickedness that the scripture is going to.
Yep.
Come on, so to read, it says, well, okay. So it says 6G is powerful as a network. Well, when I'm not even gonna read. I'm probably gonna, boy, yeah, go ahead and get some notes. It says, it's like it. Well, it's like you got you. Well, let me go and just get this. It says Micah chapter 2:10, arising to depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction.
Yeah. So this ain't our rest. It's gonna pollute you with a sword destruction. You know, so that destruction is gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be a gruesome judgment, man. All right. People out here are gonna be put to death in all kind of ways, man. All right. Esau coming with his military might. All right, you got people friends invading one another. All right, people that you would think you're cool with, betraying you during that day. All right, and going into that is not your rest. You still have certain Israelite camps in the spirit of building on this side. All right, like the General Yohana. All right, he went into building a Black America. That's one of his goals. All right. Which, the scriptures go into this is not our rest. We don't have a care for this world. All right. We understand that this place is ready to get destroyed, man. All right. So, we're looking for the kingdom to come. All right. Going into, this ain't the continuing city. There is no continuing city. We seek what's to come. All right. Which the seeking what's to come is the kingdom. All right, that's when we're gonna rule. All right, be in our glory. All right, but we don't have it's only a space. All right, for one people to rule, and currently this is Esau's time. All right, and we understand that Esau ruling, all right, is going to be the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that's to come. All right, so it's going to be like a seesaw effect. All right, as the wicked is brought down, that's when it's time for the righteous to be exalted. All right.
Yep. So as the scriptures say, we're looking for the of course, the world to come. We're not, of course, looking for the prospering of this place.
Yep.
And it goes to show you again, we're for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
That's it.
So ultimately, you're storing our treasure within the kingdom, but these guys are storing their treasures here. So where's their heart? That their heart is of course in this place.
That's it.
So again, that's why they're focused on building up in Babylon.
Right.
As the scriptures, as Yahushua himself said, seek ye the kingdom first, and all these things should be added on to you. And no, we're not gonna become millionaires and have all this wealth as Esau. No, ultimately, that's not the point.
Yeah, and another thing too, that your riches on this side, that's not going to deliver you, man.
Yeah.
All right. You build certain things that's not going to deliver you, man. All right. If you don't have the spiritual riches, if you don't have the faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, if you're not building up your spiritual bank account, all right, then what you do on this side, it doesn't matter. All right. The carnal things, the carnal desires, getting land and trying to build on this side that has nothing to do with salvation. These people are going to be too comfortable on this side, living it up to the point where, it's too soon for the Lord to come back. I'm not looking for the Lord to come back. Oh, well, maybe the Lord is going to come back in another 100 years, 1,000 years. All right. These guys ain't going into prophecy, man. It's too late to be, changing up the doctrine, trying to get the heathens in. All right. You got IUIC Nate saying that the Lord's name is crap. All right. Saying that we don't have the name. All right. Which, we can get that. We can get that too, Revelation 19, and also get Zephaniah 3 and 12. All right. Follow along with that.
God. So it says, Revelation 19 and It says 11. So it says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Yep. The white represents the purity, and the horse represents the power. All right, so Yahweh Shai is going to come back with that power and glory, coming back with those chariots, all right, and the angels. All right, now what is Yahweh Shai coming back to do? Keep reading.
It says, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
He's the righteous judge, and he's also coming to make war. Make a war against who? The wicked, the heathen nations. All right, that's what Yahweh Shai is coming back to do. All right, and it's gonna be a mass destruction. That's when this place is gonna get taken down, man. Keep reading.
It says, verse 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Yep. That's going to the description of the Lord, and the many crowns is going into conquering, all right, the nations. All right, because these different nations that are in rulership, starting with Esau, Edom, is going to be brought down. What?
It says, and he had a name written that no man knew, but he himself.
Yep, and get that word for name. All right, because this isn't going into, nobody knows the name of the Lord. All right, this is going into the Lord's position, the Lord's rank. All right, no man or no angel is going to have that position or push forth that the prophecy. All right, or going to hold that rank that Yahweh Shai is going to have, man, or that he has. All right, go ahead.
So it says the name, or Greek word for name, is onoma, meaning it says a name is used for everything which the name covers. It says everything, the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name, i.e., for one's rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellences, deeds, etc.
There you go. Rank, authority, command. All right. No. It's going to be no other spirit that's going to have that position that Yahweh Shai has. That's what that's going into. It's not going into that we don't have the name of the Lord. And it's funny because when Nate, when he was had that sickness, on his, almost on his deathbed. He said that he was delivered by calling the name of the Lord. So he knows the name of the Lord, and he knows that the power that the name of the Lord has. He also has, pretty much one of the greatest breakdowns of the name of the Lord. All right. So get that also, Zephaniah 3 and 12.
God. So it says, Zephaniah 3 and 12, I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord Yahweh.
So this is going into the elect remnant. All right, trust in the name of the Lord. All right, so they're going to name of the Lord. All the prophets of old knew the name of the Lord. All right, that's not going to change. All right, we can get that Acts 4 and 12 too, but we know we're going to keep reading. All right, but the men of the Lord. All right, those that are part of the elect is going to have the name of the Lord. Trust in the name of the Lord. The scriptures going to the Lord's name, being like a strong tower, and he is safe that runneth to it, right? So, just by calling on the name of the Lord, you're going to get delivered. It's not so. And another thing too, not everybody's just going to have the name of the Lord. All right, people call on Yahusha, Yehuda. All right, all these different names, Jesus. They calling on all these different names that have no power, that's tied to false idols. All right. However, the elect is gonna have the name of the Lord. All right, keep reading.
Gone. It says, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak. So it says Zephaniah 3 and 13. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies. Neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth.
Yep.
For they,
in other words, they're going to have the truth. They're going to have the name of the Lord. They're going to have the 100% truth. Because if you don't have the truth, you're going to be speaking lies. All right. So you're not gonna deceive the people. You're not going to be speaking lies. All right. It's going to be men. All right. Prophets of the Lord. All right. That's going to have the 100% truth, and we have faith, and we have faith and believe that we have it. All right. You're not going to see other camps or other people declaring that they have the 100% truth, man. When you go into Revelation 14, it goes into those that are not defiled with women, speaking with no guile, right? So that's gonna be the Lord's elect. Okay. Go ahead. If you got something, you can bring something in too. But go ahead.
Yeah, it says Zephaniah 3 and 13, the remnant of Israel should not do iniquity. So key word, the remnant. It didn't say all Israel, so it's saying the remnant of Israel. So ultimately, we're not concerned about anybody who's not part of the remnant, because again, we only, or of course, we know that it's only about the remnant, which is the elect of the nation of Israel.
The elect is easily going to be able to discern, the righteous and the wicked. It's not a gray area. It's not, every camp has a piece of the truth, and they all come together, and no, that's not how it works, man. All right, you got camps that don't know the name of the Lord. You got camps that don't go into the MOTB. You got camps that's constantly changing the doctrine. You got camps that's pretty much, Israelites now, with preaching plantation Christianity with the Israelite twist to it. All right, so you got camps that's waxing worse and worse. People that's being completely given over to a reprobate mind, man. All right. And you're going to have those that's the light, that's going to have the truth, that's not going to veer off from the doctrine, all right, that's going to continue to endure and stand strong in the faith, all right, and in sound doctrine all the way until the end, man. All right.
Yep, Khan. It says, Zephaniah 3 and 13, it says, the remnant of Israel should not do iniquity nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Yeah, and ultimately, of course, who we feeding off of? Of course, we're feeding off of Yahushua. Of course, as the scripture is going to, Yahushua is that bread of life. That we're consuming. Yahushua is of course, the living waters. So we're of course never thirsty again. Yep. So ultimately, we're feeding off of Yahushua. Yahushua said, of course, to eat my flesh, which of course is symbolic, meaning to take him in, spiritually.
Yep.
So going back to Revelation 19 and 12, it says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
Yep.
It says, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High.
Yes.
Yeah, Khan. Yes, yeah, like I was about to say, and ultimately, when you get that word for name,
oh no.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, my bad. I don't have it. Yeah.
You start doing some preaching or something?
Yeah, just preaching.
Preaching the Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is what you do every day?
No, not every day, but
every
we come out.
Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday.
Yeah. You go through that at church or something?
Huh?
You go to travel. You go to that at church or something?
Well, yeah, this is a church right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it says,
So yeah, this is the 12 tribes sign, 12 tribes of Israel. Yep.
That carry that around everywhere you go?
Just we bring it out when we teach.
yeah.
All right.
Car?
Huh?
You got a car?
Yeah, we come it out and we teach and we we preach the word. All right. All right. Go ahead.
Start carrying that thing like this.
Yeah.
So it says, Revelation 19 and 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. Yeah, so, when you get that word for, of course, we just got the name. But even of course, when you go into the Hebrew, the Hebrew word, of course, for name is Shem. And, of course, going back to the Shem, meaning literally reputation. So it says, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. So it's not like we're, adding on to the brother's point, as if we're not going to have the name of the Lord. Ultimately, it just means that once Yahushua comes back, his name, ultimately his reputation is going to be renewed in the earth. Because when Yahushua is coming back in his full power and glory, and as scriptures say, all knee shall bow, of course, under Yahushua.
Yeah, get that the scripture that goes into the fire shall be kindled in the book of Matthew, because when Yahushua, when he first came on the scene, he came as humble, a lowly man, all right, and even during that time, the Lord was wanted to put fire upon this place, put that judgment, but that wasn't the time yet. The Lord, he still had to make himself a sacrifice, for the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. All right, go ahead.
It says, Luke 12:49, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled?
That's it, and get that in the I believe in the NLT, because it'll tell you. All right, but there you go. All right, so the Lord, he was already ready to put fire on this place, but he understood that it wasn't the time. The Lord came as a lowly man, but when he comes back, the scripture's going to, I will not meet thee as a man. All right, so he's coming back to be that righteous judge, and to ultimately bring forth that war against the heathens. All right, and bring the destruction upon this place, and deliver the elect. All right, go ahead.
Gone. It says in the NLT, I have come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning.
Yeah, he wished it. Yahushua wishes it was already burning. All right, during that time, Yahushua wanted to put this. He wanted to put that judgment forth then. All right, but it wasn't the time. All right, even now, Yahushua, he's waiting to come back. But he's waiting on the signal from the Heavenly Father first. Because the prophecy still has to take place. All right, the full climax of Jacob's trouble. All right, the full climax of World War III. All right, the MOTB being implemented. All right, and that's why we're so deep in the prophecy, because we understand that these different prophecies has to take place in order for the Lord to finally make his return, man. For this place to be destroyed, so we can finally get out of this captivity, man. Jacob's too comfortable, in this captivity. All right, we looking to rule. All right, we're not looking to rule on this side with Esau. We're not out here, making Edomites, kiss our boots and things like, we're still in this captivity. It's not the time for that. That's, that scripture, I believe it's Isaiah 47, going into Isaiah 47. Lick the dust off thy feet. That's really going into the kingdom. All right, this is the time, for us, to push the word. All right, hold the faith. All right, rehearse the righteous acts. Being humble, lowly men. Until Yahushua returns. All right, it's through Yahushua that we're gonna be over the nations.
Morning.
All right.
Afternoon.
Yep.
Morning.
What's the scripture? I will deliver thee from the wicked, which is that sword, right? So that's what we look. That's what we looking to happen. We're patient, but we're also hastening in the Lord's coming. All right, we're not gonna take matters into our own hands. That's off.
Yo, you on it?
Oh, slack.
Yeah, I just noticed slack here. But yeah, Khan, and yeah, that's the point. And of course, recent news, we just had Trump attack Venezuela. Send U.S. Marines in strikes upon Venezuela.
God.
So we can get into that too. Scripture prophesy in Matthew chapter 24 how there's going to be wars and rumors of wars.
Right.
So hey, clearly we're in those times.
Yeah. Go ahead and Shalom.
Khan, so to get a quick article. So just to summarize this, it says Khan, so this from CBS News, and to summarize it, it says, the United States launched military strikes inside Venezuela early Saturday, targeting multiple sites, including Caracas. It says Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were captured and taken out of the country by U.S. forces, according to President Donald Trump. they are being transported to the U.S. It says reportedly to New York to face criminal charges. It says the operation involved U.S. Special Operations Forces and was described by the administration as extraordinary and overwhelming. So hey, going to show you that we're clearly in those times. You know, we can give real quick. It says
Revelation says he spake as a dragon.
gone. So this is Revelation.
Yeah, because what Donald Trump is saying, or just the Trump administration, is look up the term American exceptionalism also. That they had the right to police the world. So it's about, at least Donald Trump is like telling the truth, you know, it's about natural resources, you know, and the people living a certain way, high quality of life is just a peripheral of the natural, putting Venezuelan oil back on the international market to profit, you know, and for control, really. It's about control and profit. They already have all the money, but now they want the resources to spread to their, you know, their other brothers, their other conquerors. This is already post-colonialism. Now it's just no control. So I think the vice president is a woman, and they're going to try to control her. It's really about, you know, the oil, and secondary comes from, you know, increasing the Venezuelan people's. I believe that's Charlie Asher, if I'm not mistaken. Asher, exactly. It's about, you know, control. That's ultimately what it's about. You know, money too, but this, you know, they already have all the money. They de facto had the money by putting taking them out of the international trade, or reducing their trade down to a couple percent instead of where they could have been operating at 100%. Whatever that gauge is, you know, 4%, 5% versus 100%. But that's the Esau. You know, Esau, he has that what they call it, American exceptionalism, where they believe that the police force of the earth, you know, ain't nothing we can do. Like they afford the capabilities that they have. Remember, now they exert this force over countries that can't defend themselves. Right? They had no air force, no navy. You know, like you know, they took the power out. They had agents already on the ground, probably for months or years. Took the power grid out. Of course, most of it's classified. You know, Trump mentioned some things about it, but they don't have those capabilities because they're weak. And they can't do that to, you know, modern countries like China and Russia. They have the capabilities, the Air Force and the Navy. But go ahead, what do you have?
Gone. So it says. Well, yeah. So the
13th chapter.
Yep.
Right?
Gone.
Yeah,
13.
because America is the rebirth of the ancient Roman Empire. So Donald Trump, yeah, he may very well be the guy, you know, because you've never heard. Well, when you go back to the Vietnam War and other wars, you hear them say fierce words, also. But this is, you know, we got, you know, social media and a lot of media outlets where everybody is more public now. So the scriptures are coming more, starting to feel them more. They're connecting more to what we can see, because everybody can see now, where we couldn't see before. The media was limited. Go ahead.
So it says Revelation 13 and 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb."
That's America. Democratic Party, Republican Party, the two-party system. It was really one party, but they put it officially out for the world as just a so-called democratic system, a republic, so to speak. But
it says, "And he spake as a dragon."
And he spake as a dragon, right? Meaning fierce. All right. Look up dragon.
Gone. So the Greek word for dragon.
And the blue letter doesn't get it right all the time. All right. Sometimes they'll give you a generic meaning of the word. When we go back to dragon, means the word means to be to see, to keenly see, to see. When you go to the etymology of it, but the word there in the Greek, let's see what that is. But we know what it means. It means being fierce, a man of fierce countenance, understanding dark sayings. antioxidants, epiphanies. But go ahead.
Gone. So it says the Greek word is drakon. Going back to the root, derakomai, meaning to look.
You know, look, keen, have keen sight to see. All right. So this particular dragon, America, had the ability to wage war against weaker countries. You know, they still didn't defeat Afghanistan. You just pretty much spread them out. The forces in Afghanistan. Right? But you spread them out, and ideology still just rebirthed other places. So you can't destroy ideology. But they're there for the oil. They're there for the oil. You have more in there?
Yeah, Khan. It also says for Dracon, it says a fabulous kind of serpent, perhaps as opposed to fascinate. So yeah, there's a different kind of serpent that that's of course ruling.
Give me the look up when you call someone a dragon or a serpent. What is it implied? Very cool.
Did you still want that American exceptionalism?
Yes.
Yep. All right. So the AI overview going into American exceptionalism is the belief that the United States is unique and different from other nations, often seen as superior due to its founding ideals of democracy, liberty, and self-government, positioning it as a model or even exempt from historical norms with roots in Puritan ideas involving to influence national identity, foreign policy, and global leadership.
And they're the devil, all right? They're Satan. Esau, Edom, so-called white man is Satan and the devil, all right? That for a long time he was bound up for 1,000 years. All right, now he's loose, and he founded the so-called United States of America. So nothing, you can't protest against that. You can't do nothing. You need divine intervention to be saved. The capabilities that they have to launch against weak countries and against weak countries, they have even more capabilities to launch, surveillance and attacks on its own people here in Babylon, America. So there's no way we can actively resist. We have to passively resist. That's the only thing we can do. Our resistance is passive, and Yahweh Shai has to give us the divine power to actively resist. We can't actively resist in the flesh. We can only passively resist. That's pretty much it on that.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Gone. So it says Dracon in the Greek doesn't start as a fantasy beast. It is a title of nature and posture. So it says core meaning from derakomai, meaning to see clearly, to watch intently. It says a dracon is a keen-sighted watcher, one who guards, watches, or enforces boundaries. It says what it applies when it's like what it implies when applied to a person. So it says watcher / overseer, one who sees, monitors, or surveils. It says guardian or power. It's like it says guardian of power or treasure, authority that protects a domain. It says terrifying presence, not chaotic but awe-inducing, commanding fear through dominance. It says oppressor or enforcer, later usage. It says power that watches in order to control. So it says, I guess.
Yeah, so the whole point is control. All right, control. So you watch so you can control. All right, fierce, fearful. All right. Again, we can't do anything about it. The only thing we can do is continue as we were. All right? This is preaching the gospel and carrying out our lives in Babylon, and passively resisting, meaning we make the videos. All right? And when we get the spiritual power, then we'll be able to actively resist. But we cannot resist actively in the flesh because we're weak. All right? Now, another theory is, that they're all just working together anyway, and this is just part of the script to bring the Venezuelan economy back on the market, order up chaos. You let some things run down until they're chaotic, and then you come in and establish order because you wrote the whole script. All right, it could be, they could have, after he done this trial, he could have a body double, or he could be, on some distant island You know, with Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein and other ousted world leaders, they could be all having a damn party right now and drinking scotch. But we'll find out, right? Because Esau Edom's going to be he's going to be totally exposed, right? Whether it results in some of our deaths, capture, Esau going to be totally exposed. Yahweh Shai, he's going to be light. What scriptures say that we are the light of the world. Get that precept. Was that it on that?
It's a little more. Gone. So it says in the Septuagint and Revelation, Jacon becomes the image of Satan, not because of scales, but because he is the accuser who watches, tracks, and prosecutes. It says Revelation's dragon.
Tracks, prosecutes, persecutes.
It says Revelation's dragon is a cosmic authority figure, not a monster. It says a ruler who sees all and crushes resistance.
Yep, who sees all and crushes resistance. So if they want your oil on the international market again, it's going to be on the international market. Because they barred them from the international market to sell oil. Because they have, he was indicted by American courts in 2020 and 2021. So the United States feels they have the right to arrest you anywhere on earth. Because they have that power. And they do. It proves that they're running the earth. There's more?
Gone. So it says, in essence, calling someone a Dracon means a cold, watching power, intelligent, dominant, feared, a ruler who guards, controlled by sight and intimidation. It says it's less
Sight and intimidation.
It says it's less beast and more surveilling authority.
So there we go. So it fits the United States, America with perfection. All right. Perfect. So what do you got?
All right, yep. So I got Matthew 5:14. It says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on the hill cannot be hid."
Light. What?
Yep. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on the candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Yeah. So eventually Gimme says, what I tell you in secret, I want you to declare upon the rooftops or housetops. So eventually, the light can only be contained but for so long. All right. You can only suppress the word of the Most High and the Son Yahweh Shai for so long. I mean, we got to endure it. We got to endure it for centuries. We've been enduring it for centuries. Since 1492, well, before that. It's been enduring since 78. We've been suppressed since around 70 AD, 69, 68, 67 AD. Been suppressed. All right? Because, well, we had our people spreading out all over the earth, but we weren't spreading out as Israelites. We were spreading out and adapting the names of the people in the region. And we made up our own names when we went into Europe and Asia. Or West Asia, as it's supposed to be called. Did you find the precept?
Yep. Yeah, I got it.
Here we go.
Gone. So it says Matthew 10:27, "What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that ye preach upon the housetops." It says, "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul." It says, "But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell."
Yeah. What's the penalty going to be? You go to jail for life, or you get executed.
Yep.
I mean, that's because we're not breaking the law, so they're going to have to find something or manufacture some evidence that we're breaking the law. Well, and then you got the implant. The implant is going to be the law. It's going to be the law. So all this, what you call it, green energy and want to save the planet. It's not about that. It's about oil. It's about that pollutes the air. And they say carbon dioxide is pollution. That's what they say, which is not. And they defeat their own argument. You know, so it's not about green energy, not about emissions. It's about power, control. That's what it's about. All right. So anytime they bring up, you want to help and zero emissions and all that, they're just full of shit. They just want more control. All right, they want more control. But the electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, electric vehicles with zero emissions for the drive time of the vehicle, but the production of the vehicle use petroleum to produce the vehicle, and you release chemicals into the air when you pull the minerals out the ground. So it goes to equal to a regular internal combustion engine because of the manufacturing of electric batteries. So it's not about so all the cars pollute. Just what stage do they pollute? So it's about oil, it's about control. Esau's Satan. And again, we can't, only thing we can do is passively resist. Passive, right? When we speak about it, talk about it, you can't vote your way out of a goddamn drone strike, all right? You can't vote your way out of surveillance police state. All right, Trump is invested in crypto, right? He's invested heavily in crypto. Why? Because they want to make the Federal Reserve, the CBDCs, they want to make you so you can't hide your money anymore. Now everything is surveilled. Everything, not surveilled, but everything is it's a record, okay? A record of financial transactions. That's when we get to the implantable microchip for finance purposes and tracking and ownership purposes. But we go to finance, CBDCs. So that means you can't take your money out of the banks. You can't take it out of the market. So everything's total control. All right. And you get Revelation 13:16. Do you have something? You want to add?
Yeah, Khan. So it says Trump's Monroe Doctrine revived. It says in Venezuela, it says what is it? Or it says what it is. Trump revived the Monroe Doctrine idea that the Western Hemisphere is a U.S. sphere of influence, opposing external powers, China, Russia, and Iran, gaining military intelligence or strategic footholds, footholds in the Americas. It says it's often described as a modern America First hemispheric security posture. So it says what's different from the original. So yeah, the original from 1823, it says keep European colonial powers out. It says Trump era revival, keep global rivals from embedding economically, technologically, or militarily in Latin America.
All right. So Western Hemisphere belongs to that's a territory of the U.S. So Colombia better watch out. Mexico, they got a lot of contracts in Mexico. So a lot of manufacturing from American companies in Mexico. So that's how you know it's about money. So why didn't they attack Mexico like that? Why? Because America has a lot of interest, companies and money coming out of Mexico already. So why would you attack that country? They pretty much closed Venezuela out, and they have the world's largest oil reserves. All right, which are not decomposed dinosaur bones. That's decomposed fossil fuel. The fossils are turned into liquid. The fossils that bodies or carbon that turned into oil. That's what fossil fuels are. Fossil bodies, and then they turned into fossils, and then liquefied into oil. They can't even prove that. Can't even prove it. As a part of Esau's science. It's false science. But again, he's running the earth, so he can make up whatever the hell he wants. Esau running the earth. So if you say whatever the hell he say, go. All right. But we're a small voice that's going to become a very large power by the generations to come. The next the next generation from our apostles and elders. So we're going to continue in the faith and continue to teach. And Esau eventually going to come after us. But hey, we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. the scripture say the accuser of our brethren get that too. All right, read the precept you got.
Gone. So it says Habakkuk chapter 2 and 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man. It says, neither keepeth at home.
Yeah, neither keepeth at home. All right, he's going around the earth, including in the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere, to impose his law because he has control of the earth. Good.
It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell.
Give me his blessing in the 27th chapter of Genesis. So, go ahead.
It says,
his desires, hell, meaning death. I mean, people always die, so it increasingly, hell becomes increasingly full of people because the death toll continues. People die every day, so you always have new members in the grave. Right? It doesn't mean burning in hell forever. All right? Go ahead.
It says, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Yeah, there we go. What? To what? Their resources. All right? Now let's see what Trump going to do. It's going to take years anyway to build all that shit up. The oil, so they can put their oil back in the market and take a percentage of all the oil to take out the ground to enrich the companies in the United States government. Is the debt going down? Is the Federal Reserve debt going down? I don't know. Got more production now, I guess. So they're going to enrich the Venezuelan people. Okay, let's see how this goes. That's another one of Esau's tricks. He'll basically steal all your shit and then sell it back to you. That's what Esau's doing. That's all he's doing. Stealing the oil and gonna sell it back to him. As long as he has control of it, then okay, we all can make money. But if I don't have control over it, we got a problem. No, we can't make money now. I got to marginalize you. I got to put you, in the corner. And when I'm ready, I'm going to attack you. That's what Esau did in Venezuela. And more on that.
Gone. So it says, Habakkuk chapter 2 and 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's exact direct prophecy. All right, and this didn't just start with Trump. All right, it started with the foundation of the colonies here in Babylon, America. All right, good.
It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Yeah, which means debt, heavy debts. I believe is there in the Hebrew. Heavy debt. Pledge. All right. So that's referring to America, United States of America. All right. So is the debt going backwards? Is it going down? So now that we got all this production, and Trump is the best president and the most feared president that the United States have ever been. And so is the debt going down? It's not going down. All right. So it's going to take years to build that oil up, and it'll take a percentage of it, whatever it is. Venezuela's going to be a prosperous utopia now that the United States got rid of a president. Let's see, how many more years we got left? I don't know. They got different agendas, 2030, 2035s.
Yep.
And we'll see. I don't know how long it takes to build or upgrade an oil refinery, or multiple oil refineries, but people were saying it. They were saying, well, you want to make his friends in the oil companies give him more business, give him contracts. And it came to pass. Those companies going to get those contracts, and they're going to take the money they spend. They're going to take a percentage of the oil that they made. So 20% going to go to the oil company that invested their money. And then they got lawyers, and a lot of people going to get rich off of this new project. Let's see how it turns out. But
it says, Habakkuk 2 and 7, it says, shall they not rise up suddenly? It says, Khan, it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee?
Yeah. The Russians and the Chinese, people that have nuclear powers, they're going to bite them, and that's going to be the end of Babylon, America. Good.
It says, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, It says, because, it's like it says, verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
Yeah, and that this is specifically referring to United States of America. Babylon, which is spiritually Babylon, Sodom and Egypt. All right, it's not talking about any other country. All right, the blessing of the sword was given to Esau, Edom. All right, and they partitioned themselves into different countries all over the earth. But the main spots are what? You got Russia, certain European nations. All right, the natives were genocided, you know, by the Roman Empire, and now Edomites rule those nations. And then you got America. All right, and you got certain puppets in South America too that are Edomites also. Good.
It says, Habakkuk 2 and 8, it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and all, it's like it says, and of all that dwell therein. Gone. It says Habakkuk 2 and 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Yeah, that's America. All right, the violence of the land. And again, we can't do anything about it. Because Esau, he's been given the blessing of the sword. Okay? The only thing that can take Esau, Edom out is we're going to move into a police state, a surveillance state, as I said. Because the people that are behind the cameras are law enforcement. All right? Yep. So whether they're on the ground or not is not relevant. We're being watched. All right? For security reasons. For security. For your safety and to prevent theft. So that's why they're going to make the CBDCs federal, and they're going to be issued by the Federal Reserve. We'll see what event we're going to have to take for us to get there. All right. Now you'll meet opposition when they say, "Oh, Trump signed into office legislation to stop that." All right. That don't mean nothing. They can sign something else in to make it come to pass. All right. They said they were trying to clean the earth up and all that, right? But then they still want oil. So, like, so oil pollutes apparently, right? So
they're still building up these data centers.
Yeah, they're still building. Yeah, because they need the electricity for the AI to move faster. You know, AI is about speed, so they can see better, see farther, see faster. All right, and to reduce the workforce for the UBI and all that, you know, so they can have you partition it into grids, different areas, so you don't have to travel that much. That's the utopia of Satan. All right, that's what he wants. Now, I don't know how far you're gonna get, but go ahead.
It says Habakkuk 2 and 9, woe to him that coveteth in evil covetousness to his house, that he may be, it's like it says, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
Well, he's not, because what they're doing in space, they're doing experiments to see if they can live in space. A lot of them going to get fucked. You think they're all going to escape to space? Y'all in a trick bag. Y'all think you're going to have 1 million fucking elite Edomites escape to fucking space? I want to see that shit. But they might have a plan. They have movies about it. The different rockets taking off, they're going to different planets. But then the poor people left to die. They may have an ultimate plan where they got the elite. What's that?
Chirogenic.
Wally.
Oh yeah, Wally. Also, you know, you got Avatar where they do the cryogenic freezing, whatever, and you know, basically they.
So they can travel long distances and not age, whatever.
Okay.
They may have a plan to do that. The millions of Edomites are escaping to space by Babylon being bombarded with missiles. But let's see how many of you escape. Let's see how many of you escape to space. But you're gonna get brought the fuck down anyway, even if a million of you do escape to space. Let's see. You know, it may be a great feat that the Lord want to happen.
Yeah.
That'll be televised. You know, we'll see it. Like if we have the elect, we are on the ships. We might look to the left and see rockets flying up into space. Like, oh shit, a bunch of million Edomites flying into space. And the angels, well, we might get the ass. Well, you know, the elect, how Shai Rogers out, we might get them going to see the ships. We get translated, get the bodies. We might go over to the fucking ships and beat the shit out of Esau, tear their ass back down to earth, bring them into the interrogate their ass. All right? We are angels, so let's see what our designation is. All right, but yeah, simultaneously, you're gonna have the elect going up, and then you're gonna have Esau going up too into the space. So Esau knows this stuff. It's in the book. The elect, the strangers of our salvation, is in the book. Esau setting his nest on high is in the book. But we're gonna be farther up. Esau can't even go all the way out. The chariot that's gonna be in space is gonna be farther out. All right, they're up there. They're watching right now. They're the angels are the real dragons. Like Yahweh Shai, Yahweh. All right. You got the right now looking on Earth, doing their whatever their job is. The angels. All right. Is there more?
Yeah, gone. So it says Habakkuk 2:10, thou hast consoled shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and thou, it's like it says, and hast sinned against thy soul.
And this is talking about modern day warfare, modern day imperialism, colonialism. Esau cannot do this in the ancient world. Well, he started doing it with the Greco-Greeks and Edomite Greeks, Edomite Romans. And that was many people he cut off. That was genocide that he did to the Japhites and to certain Israelites that were scattered amongst them. That's total, absolute genocide, deportation, and mass murder. All right. So the scriptures referring to on an even larger scale than that. It's referring to all over the earth. And he came about when the Industrial Revolution started to happen, and the different colonialism in India and China, and then the New World. All right, cut off many people.
Gone. So it says Habakkuk 2:11, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Yeah, because America's is the debt, the heavy debts, and eventually is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles. The reason why they want to institute a digital system is so they can control the debt. There's going to be no more debt. Well, I don't know I don't know what the plan is for the debt with the digital system, but they can still have a debt system with it being digital. But that's going to be the answer. That's going to be the cure for interest rates and trade, the dollar, and that's going to be a digital dollar. But
it says, Habakkuk 2:12, it says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity.
Yeah, America was built on blood, on subjugation of other people, setting up camp in a land that was not yours. There was no negotiation set up for the colonies to be built. All right, 13 colonies just came in and set up shop. And you made treaties with how to survive and all that, and traded information, but you were never given permission to set up shop. Set up shop here. Now, when you went to certain areas, you bartered and all that, but your initial William Penn when he came into Chester. That's when Pennsylvania was first stop in Pennsylvania, so-called Pennsylvania was, which is included Delaware, and then it got partitioned later. Was Chester, Pennsylvania. Right? Philadelphia was established a couple decades later, but Chester, he didn't get bartered with Gad can we park our ship here and set up, cut down wood? He didn't do that. He came up and set up shop. Can we use this area around the Delaware River? That's the name of the Gadite tribe, Delaware. And fishing. We used to eat a lot of fish back then. I think they probably still fish out of Delaware River, but before it was all polluted, with industrial waste and chemicals, and just more humans being active around the area. So Esau, Edom, he took it, and then negotiated later. That's that's what he's doing with the oil. If you don't have control over it, you're gonna get control over it. Right? You don't have control over the oil, so you got to get control over the oil. Go ahead.
It says Habakkuk 2:13. Behold, it says, is it not the Lord Yahweh of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people
They're going to labor, yeah. Even though America's being slowly circling the drain, the worm is spread under thee, Isaiah 14. They're still going to try to save Babylon. Then it's going to come to a point when they're going to say, fuck it, you know. They're going to try to escape the space. Go ahead.
It says, and the people should worry themselves for very vanity.
Yeah, because ultimately, when you look at the big picture, it's going to be destroyed. Right? When you look up, when you zoom in, it's like, okay, we still economic opportunity, you know, and it is. But what's important? At the end of the matter is what's important. You know, that's why it's better to save our souls, to be right with Yahushua, than to be big in business. You know, you're going to have your business that you got to do for your daily bread and to continue, you know, in your life here. But ultimately, the big picture is what? Our saving of our soul. Not suffering in that hellfire, all right? Which is America's destruction. All right? That's the hellfire. Like nobody else is teaching this but us. All right? The apostles and the elders and the brothers on down from Great Millstone. All right? That, you know, there is no continuing city.
Yep.
It's going to eventually come to an end, hopefully in our lifetime. It seems like it in our lifetime. I can see it. I can see brothers getting spiritual power, Esau getting exposed, that image of Cesare Borgia being put to shame. All right, and we're gonna prove it with spiritual power, with you know, raising the dead, doing the same thing that Yahushua did and the apostles did. All right, restoring limbs, creating food, multiplying oil, which is basically multiplying anything. You know, having basically all the cheat codes. Calling the angels, like Elijah did. Then Elisha getting even more power than Elijah did. I mean, Elisha had more works, that's written anyway, than Elijah did. All right? So Esau, that's going to be a fearful thing when the elect get that power. That's going to be a fearful thing. And give me that where it talks about a new threshing, sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Go ahead.
It says Habakkuk 2:14. It says, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea.
Yeah, so it's gonna increase as we get to the kingdom is gonna be total supremacy, but we're gonna get our information out now. That the Lord went out, you know. It's still spread, but it's still being marginalized. But as soon as the media, as soon as the dragon is destroyed, the powers, all the thrones are cast down, like it says in Daniel, the only message that's going to be available is the truth. Right? Who the biblical Israelites are. Right? Who the impersonators are. All right? The mingled people, they're going to be, you know, partitioned back into their own lands. And they're going to be subject to the true Jews. All right. Good.
It says Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. That it says that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunk also, that thou mayst look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also. Let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee.
Yeah, we gotta suffer it. We gotta suffer the lies, the false religions. We gotta suffer that. And we're passively resisting it by setting up this sermon, this prophecy, all right, that we're reading from the scriptures. That, you know, America is not going to be a continuous city. It's going to eventually be broken up, be destroyed. It's really going to be erased. It's going to be broken up to the point of going back to its natural elements, turning into sand, dust. Both the landmass and all the ideas are going to be completely turned to dust, turned to brown to powder.
Yep. Got 3-7.
Finish that off.
Gone.
Yeah.
It says, the cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
The shameful spewing. Okay? So Esau eventually gonna get exposed. He gonna get exposed. He gonna have to ignore it. That's what he gonna have to do. You're like, oh, these are the people. These are the people. You're a liar. This is what you represented. Then you're gonna have counter claims. You're gonna have to live with both a lie and the truth at the same time. It's gonna be right in your face. Like, damn. Y'all still believe that bullshit that they were talking about, all right? Because the truth is going to be spread, all right? The elect are going to receive power. All right. Read the scriptures I was calling for. What do you have?
Okay. So this is the book of Isaiah 41 and 14. It says, "Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel."
Yeah, because we're weak. All right, worm. So Yahweh called us a worm. All right. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, "I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel." Verse 15, "Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument."
Yeah, we're going to receive power, right, through the medium of Yahweh Shai. Like Yahweh Shai going to send his Holy Spirit, all right, to turn our, to give us the ability to survive, right?
Yep. Isaiah 41 and 15, "Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff." Verse 16, "Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shall glory in the Holy One of Israel."
Right, that's going to start here in the land of our captivity, all right, in the land of our exile. All right, we're in exile right now. All right, where we got certain rights, you know, we can live somewhat free. All right, that's under the guise of, you know, surveillance and the capabilities they can just use at any time against us. The scripture said we dwell in the valley of the shadow of death. All right, the shadow is not directly on you; it's just behind you, or in front of you, or inside you. So it's a shadow. So it follows us. So we had the potential to be, you know, persecuted and put to death. We don't mean we're going to be persecuted, put to death all the time. All right, but it's a shadow. All right, and soon that shadow is going to touch us. All right, and we're going to need that divine intervention. But right now it's a valley of the shadow of death. All right? So we can live in that valley, and we currently are living in that valley. Right?
Yep. Verse 17, "When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I the Lord will hear them. I, the power of Israel, will not forsake them."
Right.
Verse 18.
So Yahweh Shai is going to save us. All right, Yahweh Shai now. Son, what?
Yep. Verse 18, "I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water."
Yeah, so how are we going to suffer? We're going to suffer with starvation, being buffeted, beat up, worrying about whether we're going to be, you know, killed, family members taken away, you know, buffeted again, buffeted. So that's the pain and suffering. Diseases, dis-ease. So we need help from that. All right, so Yahweh Shai can save us from that. It'll be good. Good.
Yep. Yeah, verse
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, verse 19, "I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittah tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree, and the pine, and the box tree together." Verse 20, "That they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord hath done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it."
And you're going to get those blessings by the words of the prophets. The prophets are going to speak the blessing that we're going to receive in the kingdom, and the blessing we're going to receive with divine intervention, all right, to protect us from the devil. All right? And you can't go to a court system and to get justice
Right.
When Esau, comes down on us with the surveillance and the persecution, we can't go to court and fight against that. So we need Yahushua. So we're gonna do what we're gonna do, with attorneys and all that. But then they're gonna send us to fucking jail. Then we gotta sit in fucking jail, or get our head chopped off, or lethal injection, whatever the penalty gonna be. We gotta deal with it. All right. Paul says, "I show you my faith by my works." We really believe what we're saying, all right? And a man didn't reveal that to us. There's no way we can continue in doing what we're doing because a man said so. That's the spirit that makes us continue to say the things we say, which is the truth, and to continue to preach with the same spirit. Like, these things are going to come to pass. It's impossible for a man to tell you that. You gotta. It's a spirit that's making us do it. All right. You can only be indoctrinated but for so much. And doctrine means to teach. Right? Because if you don't really believe it, you ain't gonna continue doing it. Especially if it's so much against the grain of the mainstream. The mainstream is totally opposite of what we're saying. Right? You can't vote your way into safety and security. All right? And when Esau comes with his police force, his police state, he knows the psychology of people. Like the ICE people, there's ways you can stop them if they were organized. You can stop those. They'll come up with other ways to stop you, but you can come up. People get snatched away, taken to deported or whatever, or taken to court. You can stop those vehicles easily. Easy. If I was there, I could stop those vehicles easy. Those vehicles wouldn't be going nowhere. But they got fucking signs and shit, and Good.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So sign that protesting shit don't do nothing. Standing in front of vehicles, like that's nothing. They just run your ass over, push you to the side. You can, again, if they were organized, they could, and they wanted, they could stop those vehicles. The vehicles wouldn't be able to move with a few steps. Okay, you can immobilize a vehicle very easily, actually. All right? And there's so many of y'all too, but. You guys are protesting for nothing. You're just showing them that you have. You can't protest and make your government listen to you. That's not how you make your government listen to you. The only thing that the government understands is force, right? And extreme violence. So if you're not doing that, your tactics are not effective, all right? And the Lord ain't working with you anyway. So what we're doing is effective, right? Because Yahushua is on our side. We got Yahushua is our power. Right? It's impossible to destroy us. You can't, because you can't touch us, because we're protected divinely. The reason why we can even preach what we preach and not be arrested is because what we're doing is divinely inspired. It's impossible. The reason why those protests for the immigration enforcement will never work is because it's not divinely inspired. They're going to suffer what they suffer because most of them probably ain't of the elect. All right? Some of them came into the country illegally, all right? And they're going to, they didn't get their paperwork straight for whatever reason. And they're going to, whatever they were running from, they're going to suffer. Going back to it. All right? Go ahead.
Gone. So it says Isaiah 40:28. Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard that the everlasting power, the Lord Yahweh, the creators, just like it said, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary, there is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord Yahweh shall renew their strength, and they shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Yes, ultimately, of course, going into waiting. And when you get that word for wait within the Hebrew word is kwawat, Meaning says to wait, look for, hope, expect. Yeah, so and on to the elder's point, we're waiting for Yahweh Shem Yahshua, of course, to raise us up. You got some of these camps, of course, in their it's like in their own spirit, as if basically they can build up. What's the one term that they're using?
Black America.
Yeah, Black America, or the other one, but basically with them, building up these farmlands.
Yep.
And this and that.
Yeah, you had no military. Maduro didn't have military. That's why or Air Force. So he could just come in with jets and drones and just take what they want. They can just manufacture anything like a crime being committed and then take your shit. Well, America would never partition the states to have a black land. That's stupid.
Right.
Doesn't even make no fucking sense. You have to name it Israel. You have to divide and be America and then it'd be Israel. This idiot says black land or some shit like that.
Shit.
It should be Israel. New Israel. How about that? New Israel in America. Partition like that. He says some black land. That dude's a nutcase. If Yohana's one of the elect, I'll be surprised. He would have to totally change that demonic ass, all that shit he's preaching, all the peripheral, all the little small stuff that make him look bad, the group look bad. He had to totally forsake it. Then he would still wear it all black. That the whole spirit is wrong. If he would be of the elect, he would have to totally change the spirit of ISUPK for them to be of the elect. But anything's possible. But how likely is it? We'll just have to wait and see. Go ahead.
So it says to wait or look eagerly for. It says
wait, that's what we're doing. We're waiting. We don't have any power to do anything. Save to preach the gospel and passively resist all the demonic lies, and we do that by bringing the sign out, and preaching, recording it, and then hopefully people that see can, replicate what we do, and we got saved one more soul. All right? We opened his mind up, him or her mind up, and so in the time when Esau make his move, Yahushua make his move, you on the right team, and it's all by predestination anyway. So whether we stay in or fall out, it's Yahushua's will. Well, Yahweh's will. Yahushua is carrying it out. He drops out.
Oh, tissue.
So Yahushua knows who his elect are. Just like he knew that Judah was not of the elect. Said the same person that supped with me is the one that's going to betray me, roughly paraphrasing. Yeah. From my memory, I should say. And Judah betrayed the Lord. Right, betrayed him for some damn money, which is stupid, But hey, that was his lot. Right, continue.
It says, so it says to wait. Yeah, it says look patiently. It says to expect, tarry, wait. Yes, ultimately, it says also it says to wait or look eagerly for. In the scriptures, going to hasten in the day. So we're not supposed to be hastening in the continuing of America and storing our treasures here. Right. As scriptures say, we have to store our treasures, of course, in heaven, where moth and rust doth not corrupt.
Right, and that's not something that you have to make part of your doctrine, like buying land and starting a business. That's not a part of the doctrine.
Yeah. Right.
That's personal. That's going on in your life.
Yeah.
The doctrine, the teaching, is about Yahushua and the prophecies, not you starting a damn business, or you buying land or getting into commercial real estate. That's none of our business. You need to, if you're a preacher, you preach the gospel, which consists of prophecies, the blessings and the curses. What's going to happen? Not starting a business. This is nonsense. Owning land, that's nonsense. That's not a part of the doctrine. Good.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, that's it on that. I got so I have some more on the Venezuelan issue.
Yeah, go.
So it says behind the scenes, the oil. So it says behind the scenes, the oil issue is about leverage and control, not just barrels. So it says what they want: supply influence, shape global oil flows, to stabilize prices and reduce rivals' leverage. It says market access, reopen Venezuela's reserves to Western companies.
Balance oil around the world. So put the oil back on the market, or increase the oil production. So it's about control. I mean, price is going to go down. I mean, shit, the prices better go down. Well, it's going to take some years to build the facilities to get them to modern production and all that, but you expect prices to go down. But you saw he could control the prices anyway. So like, it's just about control. Right? Have more control. Go ahead.
It says, market access, reopen Venezuela's reserves to Western companies under predictable contracts. It says sanctions leverage, use oil licenses as bargaining chips to extract political concessions. It says geopolitical denial, limit Russia, China, Iran from using Venezuelan oil as an alternative supply or a financing channel. It says infrastructure control, secure pipelines, ports, and refining links that lock Venezuela into Western energy systems. It says economic pressure valve. Oil revenue is the regime's lifeline, controlling it.
Yeah, so you can tell that America is running the country if they don't allow other countries in to do business with Venezuela. So if they say, oh no, the only company that can be is the companies that the United States says so. Oh, now you know it's a de facto dictatorship from the United States. All right. So if they want to seem more authentic, they would invite different companies that are not Western countries into the under the United States authority into the oil refineries in Venezuela. But it's about control. The United States wants to be able to issue the contracts to pull the oil out the ground. Go ahead.
It says oil revenue is the regime's lifeline. Controlling it means controlling outcomes.
Controlling Venezuela, controlling how rich the poor the country is, and that's what they did by putting them out the international community, the market. All right, they made an outcome, so it increased the poverty of the people. And they use Maduro as an excuse. Okay, well, since he's doing all this stuff, then we gotta exclude him from the international market. Right. Go ahead.
It says, in short, it's about who sets the rules for one of the world's largest reserves. Prices, partners, and power, not merely pumping more crude.
Right. So we know it's about oil, because if it's about just Maduro, which Trump is being transparent about that, it was about oil also. It wasn't just about drugs, it's about oil. So he's being honest about that, He was okay. Let the Venezuelan, the new president, okay. Since Maduro, so no longer the drug trafficking is ended now, all right. So now let the Venezuelan people govern themselves. Of course not, because it's about control. It's not just about drug trafficking. It's about controlling the natural resources of the country. All right. Okay. If they're really then the Venezuelan government should be able to choose which companies can come in and build the oil system back up. But we'll see what they'll start to say. It's to see how much control America has and how much the actual government of Venezuela has now that Maduro is no longer in power. See how this unfolds.
Yeah, Khan, and also says how Venezuela owns over a fifth of the world's oil reserves. That's what it goes into. So you already know, they want control over that. So
fifth.
Yeah. So that's it on that.
All right. Get Matthew 13. We'll end it on that parable. Matthew 13. Is that where it says the kingdom of heaven is like a net cast into the sea? Is that it?
Yeah, it goes into the sower and the tares, and also, yeah, the sower, the tares, the parables, how it's given unto us. So I guess
we can go with mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
gone. So it says Matthew 13:10, and the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? It says, He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and it says, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath.
Right. So not everybody understands. Right. Not everybody understands the prophecies on what is going to come to pass in the last days on the elect. So there's other camps, they're not really going into the gaps, making sure the words they speak that are right. You know, like this black thing with ISUBK, this black thing, that's just demonic. So I mean, he's purposely doing that. So I mean, I can't say him being of the elect unless he had to change all this black shit. You know, black is not even a race. All right, there's no race called black, like purely black. You know, it's like you got the Sudanese. I believe Sudan means land of the blacks. I believe, but just black people. There's no such thing as black people. That's their thing. You know, even though they acknowledge the 12 tribes, but he keeps using his black shit. Now, the R for the microchip, let's go into that real quick. Let's finish it up. R for Revelation 13. Look at Revelation 13.
This is the book of Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right. So if you don't worship the image of the beast, you're going to be put to death. Meaning if you don't take the R for the microchip. That's what it means, or not worshiping the image. If you don't worship the image of the beast, if you don't take the microchip, all right, you're going to be put to death. That's the penalty. All right. So I don't know how Esau going to frame it, but if you don't take that chip, you're going to get put to death if you get caught anyway. So the elect that don't get caught is not going to be put to death. The elect are not going to take the chip, which is the R3 microchip, the cylindrical chip, the flat chip, however they implement it in mass. That's the mark of the beast. All right. It's going to come in through via CBDCs, the different digital federal digital currency, or if Esau don't implement a digital currency, you can still implement the chip. Okay. Still implement the RFID microchip, all right, which is going to be used for identifying who you are and to make transactions. All right, the finance is going to be not tied to your identity. It's going to be unique, a number unique to the individual. Right? That's the prophecy. It's not something in your mind or Christianity or sleeping with the white woman or an embargo. Won't be able to cut to the commerce. It's specifically referring to a mark that every person is going to receive that's not of the elect, that are in developed areas that got electricity and the means to do so. They're going to be chipped, and that's how you're going to be able to exchange currency, which means what's current, the money that's being used currently, currency. Exchange it for goods and services. All right, digitally. All right. Continue.
Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great.
Now look up charagma, the word. Go ahead.
Yep, Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
All right. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Right, so you cannot engage in any financial transaction unless you are marked with the mark of the beast, the devil's mark. All right, it's a control mechanism. Control the money, have everything available to the government, so you cannot take your money outside of the market. All right. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636.
Right. The other camps don't talk about 666. High psi stigma. All right. And Esau hides that in his products and in his symbols. All right. So if the IHBK say you can't cut into the commerce and all that, and they say, oh, Caragua, you can't cut into the commerce. What the fuck does that even mean? So you can't buy and sell unless you do what? Take the mark. See how you do? You don't even explain it right. So what do you have to do that you won't be able to cut into the commerce? What didn't you do? What did you do that you can cut or not cut into the commerce? All right, you received the mark or you didn't receive the implantable mark. Okay, that's what you did or didn't do. So you can't cut into the commerce. All right, you didn't receive the implantable mark, which is a sign of ownership. All right. So I would like to hear what didn't the individual do that he can't cut into the commerce? What didn't he do? I don't know if that's been explained yet. What didn't the person do? All right. And then why don't they explain this 666 mark, the 666 number? All right, 600, 6. All right, Karagma.
Gone. So it says in the Greek "kragma" for mark, it says a stamp and a print of mark, or the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. It says the mark branded upon horses, thin carved, sculpture, graven work.
Yeah, so it's branded. All right. So even Blue Letter agrees that it's a branded mark. It's not something that. Well, I guess IUPK didn't explain it. IUIC, I don't know what their hell explanation is. I don't know. They don't. The foundation of America was a conspiracy. Like, come on, seriously? You believe in conspiracy theories? Like, why the hell wouldn't you believe in conspiracy theories? All right? And it's not a theory. We believe it's a fact. It's definitely a conspiracy. Go ahead.
It says a scratch or etching.
Yeah, so it's cut. All right. So how did or didn't a person cut into their commerce? What did the person do or not do? They won't be able to cut into the commerce. They didn't take the RFID microchip, so they can't cut into the commerce. All right. The RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. So if you don't take that, you won't be able to cut into the commerce. All right. Is that it?
It says i.e. stamp as a badge of servitude.
Badge of servitude. Okay, so you pledge of allegiance. So you take that mark, you are now under the authority of the person that issued that mark. All right, and that's it. That's why we're saying don't take the mark, because it's a sin. You take the mark, that's an act, that's a sin. All right, you take the mark, that's a when you take the mark, you're being branded like a horse or like a cattle.
Yep.
So you're owned by the issuer of the mark. Go ahead, some more.
Yeah, that's it.
That was it. All right. So hope you're edified. In the day. Shalom.
Shalom.